Just an absolutely gorgeous day today. Considering it's been raining the last couple of days, very overcast. But I want to talk about a couple of things about the Canon M50 that I've discovered. So I'm shooting with the Canon M50 right now, and I really like this camera. Mirrorless camera has the capability of shooting 4K, although it just crops in really bad. Plus you lose that dual pixel autofocus. Right now I'm shooting with the kit lens, the 15 to 45 millimeter. It's all the way out at 15, so get a pretty good wide range of coverage. But something that I discovered when it comes to image stabilization, now right now I've just got this on a little Manfrotto mini tripod, just walking around with it, and you're gonna get some shake, you're gonna get some jitter with it, because right now I've got just the image stabilization on, not the digital. And I noticed that I had digital enabled for a lot of footage that I've done with this camera before, and I was like, wow, this seems kind of tight for 15 millimeters. And then I noticed that when you use digital image stabilization, you have that enabled, what happens is it crops in a little bit more. And then if you go to enhanced, which is supposed to really help with stabilization, what happens is it crops in even more, and I'm going to give you some examples now. Okay, this is me holding the camera out at full arm's length, 15 millimeter with just image stabilization turned on, but digital image stabilization completely turned off, so we can see how wide it frames. Now, once again, arm's length, 15 millimeter, and this is with digital IS on, this is with digital IS enabled. And now this is at arm's length with digital IS enhanced. So you can see exactly how much it really crops in on the image. Now let's do some just walking around tests to see how does it help with image stabilization. Do we get that wobbly effect? All right, so what I did here was I did a freeze frame of all three. So if you look at the top, this is with digital image stabilization completely disabled. To the bottom left is digital image stabilization enabled, and then to the bottom right is digital image stabilization enhanced. So enhanced really crops in on the field of view a lot. But I just wanted to kind of show you this. Now let's get to the actual stabilization walking footage. All right, Canon M50, 15 millimeter, and I've got digital IS enhanced right now as I'm walking around hand holding this, just to see how does the electronic image stabilization help with this when it's enhanced, because I know it crops in a lot, but does it actually help with some of that wobble or jelly effect? All right, now set to 15 millimeters, and now digital IS is just enabled, not enhanced. So walking around the yard just to see, does this still have a little bit of a jello effect? Doesn't crop in as much as the enhanced does, but let's just see how this looks. All right, back to 15 millimeter, now with digital electronic image stabilization completely disabled and using just image stabilization turned on. See how this looks. Get a wider frame, wider field of view, but does the image stabilization, does it still work good enough to walk around with this handheld? But of course, one of the ways around dealing with shaky footage is to pair it up with a gimbal. And that's what I've done now with the M50, paired it up with a 3-axis gimbal. Which one? Well, we'll talk about some gimbals in the probably next 2 weeks. I'm gonna go through a whole array of gimbals to see which one is gonna be best for a Micro Four Thirds, for a full frame, for a mirrorless camera like the Canon M50, which this one works really well. But this way, when you add a 3-axis gimbal into it, you don't have to worry about shaky footage anymore. And of course, when it comes to using the Canon M50, it's kind of like with any other camera. You can color grade it, get a nice little smooth cinematic footage. And one of the things that I really like about using a camera like this, now this has got a 3.5 lens on it. It goes 3.5 up to 6.3. So it's not a super fast lens, but at an f-stop of 3.5, it can still give you a nice depth of field. So focus on me and look at the background all blurred out. So really nice depth of field considering it's just a kit lens with this camera. So as you can see from some of the example clips, digital image stabilization, I can see where that would come in handy if you're shooting photos, but when you're doing video work, I would definitely stay away from the digital image stabilization, the enhanced or the enabled. I would just turn those two settings off and just leave the regular camera IS image stabilization on, which is going to be in the lens. And yes, you're going to get some natural shake with it, which is, you know, everything can't be perfectly smooth. So it will give you some natural movement as you're walking. And if you want to take care of that, you can use a 3-axis gimbal and that will help smooth out all the footage. Plus you get to take advantage of the full 15 millimeters, which is not actually 15. I think it's like a 24 millimeter equivalent with the Canon M50. But all in all, very good camera. More gimbal reviews, and I'm going to also be checking out some prime lenses for the Canon M50 and some wide angle lenses, just so you have some opportunities to see what's available out there. Until the next video, hope you guys have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.